ABC 6 News 11 at 11 starts right now.
Tonight at ABC 6 News 11 at 11, the end of an era in Foxborough. After 9 Super Bowl appearances and an incredible 6 championships, Bill Belichick is out as coach of the Patriots. Thanks for joining us tonight at 11. I'm John DeLuca.
And I'm Tiffany Murphy. Belichick says it was a mutual decision to part ways and called it a day of gratitude and celebration for himself. ABC 6 sports anchor Ian Steele and sports director Nick Coit pick up the story from there.
Nick Coit, Ian Steele with you outside Gillette Stadium in Foxborough. Of course, the big news of the day. Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots parting after 24 seasons together, Ian.
Yes, and Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft making the announcement together in the auditorium inside Gillette Stadium, walking out in front of media members from around New England and around the world. But again, doing this together in person, shaking hands, hugging, presenting a united front as they mutually agree to part ways.
We wondered how that would go down after a few days of conversations, Ian, and obviously having conversations about what each wants for the future. Bill Belichick seems to want to still coach here going forward. The Patriots seem to maybe want a fresh start, a clean slate. But they come out, they present a united front, and just as what happened in 2000 when Bill Belichick was hired by Robert Kraft, there was a handshake. On Thursday, there was a handshake as well between the two to end the relationship.
Here's Bill Belichick making the announcement that he will no longer be the head coach of the New England Patriots.
Robert and I, after a series of discussions, have mutually agreed to part ways. And for me, this is a day of gratitude and celebration.
Yesterday, we met and mutually agreed to part ways amicably. Like a good marriage, a successful head coach-owner relationship requires a lot of hard work, and I'm very proud that our partnership lasted for 24 years.
Yes, the 24 seasons together were very good and obviously a lot of success, but we're here because of the last 4 seasons, and when number 12 walked out the door, the results, the success, not as fruitful, bottoming out in 2023.
One playoff appearance without Tom Brady, leading to this year's 4-13 record. The Patriots have the number 3 pick in the draft. That's the highest that they've chosen since they picked Drew Bledsoe back in the day. So things have not gone well for the New England Patriots since Tom Brady left, with Bill Belichick in charge, pulling the strings.
And we sort of saw and read the tea leaves a little bit here the last few months, the last few weeks, and here's how we got here with Bill Belichick and the Patriots parting ways. After 24 seasons, nearly 300 wins for the franchise, and 6 championships, the greatest coaching run in the history of the NFL is over. The Patriots and Bill Belichick are parting ways.
Well, I've always appreciated the opportunity.
The success was immense. 2 different waves of a dynasty and teams built through drafting and developing, discipline and culture, the Patriot way. And Belichick found a flag bearer in his greatest player, Tom Brady.
The thought of him not being in New England is hard for me to think about.
But in year 4, without number 12, it was clear the erosion of that Patriot way had taken effect. Draft picks stumbling in their development.
I feel like I let people down with my play.
An offense that was last in the league in points scored.
It's a very simple game. You got to score points.
Even with hints of a throwback Pats defense, the 2023 season was a bottoming out. A 4-13 record, the worst mark in Belichick's 29 years as a head coach.
Disappointing year for all of us. Not anything that any of us are in any way content with.
The expectation from the owner before the season was clear.
My objective for our team is that we make the playoffs.
That expectation was not met, and so the question was obvious. Was it time for a change? The coach seemed willing to bend.
Look, I'm for whatever, collectively we decide as an organization is the best thing to help our football team.
But after the annual meeting at the end of the season, the relationship coming to a close, the era is over. Bill Belichick is no longer the coach in Foxborough, and the Patriots are moving on.
Strange to think of Bill Belichick as former Patriots head coach. He is the greatest head coach in the history of the NFL. No longer the head coach of the New England Patriots.
Much more coverage coming up in the Sportscast. Robert Kraft holding a press conference and taking questions from reporters later in the afternoon Of course, talking about the decision of the parting of ways, so we'll hear from Kraft again. Plus, we'll look back at some of the best moments of Bill Belichick leading the New England Patriots as the head coach in the glory days here in Foxborough. But for now, outside Gillette Stadium, he's Ian Steele. I'm Nick Coit. Back to you in Providence.
New tonight on 11 at 11, disturbing details emerging about conditions at St. Mary's Home for Children in North Providence. Those details coming out by way of a report from the state's child advocate. According to the report, a 17-year-old in St. Mary's care overdosed on drugs and describes multiple other instances of abuse and neglect to children as young as 8. The report says state workers also noticed children looking dirty and disheveled during unannounced visits. If you'd like to see that full scathing report, we have it on our website. Just go to abc6.com.
A bomb scare in Blackstone, Massachusetts this morning. The state police bomb squad called to a home on Don Street around 10:30. There were reports of military-grade ordnances there, but police say the devices were all inactive and taken in as evidence. There were also some flares found. Firefighters took those to a safe area to be destroyed. No word yet on any charges in connection to that response this morning.
All right, let's get a check at the forecast now. Storm Tracker Chief Meteorologist Jeff Benson joining us live in the Weather Center. Jeff, any way you can think of to work Bill Belichick into your forecast?
You know, that's a good one, John. I'm going to have to think about that. I better hurry up, and maybe we'll have it for the full weather. But I'm just going to, you can see the temperatures behind me. You can see the clouds. That's never going to get old. Lots of clouds out there right now. You're going to see the temperatures in a second. You're actually just looking at the sky conditions right now, as we do see a fair amount of cloud cover across the Northeast. A little clipper dying out with rain and snow showers. They actually made it into parts of western Massachusetts and Connecticut, but really light stuff, if anything, even reaching the ground. 38 is your temperature in Providence right now. 42 in New York City. It's the middle of January, so taking these numbers at face value, I'm feeling pretty good about that. Where's the cold air? Oh, it is cold, and it is not that far away. We've got Siberia-level chill, pole-level cold up in Canada right now. Western Canada, temperatures are between -20 and -40 degrees. And we're not even talking about, middle of nowhere cities here. Calgary, Edmonton. Look at Edmonton, almost -40 at this hour. That cold air is slowly going to spill its way down into the lower 48 and then make its way east eventually. It won't get that cold here, but it will get significantly colder as we're heading into next week. First, we've got to focus on this warm rain and windstorm. Another one. A little bit of a step back from the last storm, but certainly could have ramifications and will certainly challenge our rivers, which are already carrying a lot of water and still in flood stages, even though they're headed down. But they could go back up a little bit with this guy. We will tell you all about it, more in detail coming up in the full weather, guys.
All right, Jeff, thank you. Now to world headlines on 11 at 11. The U.S. and U.K. launching retaliatory strikes against multiple Iranian-backed Houthi targets in Yemen today.
Now, this comes months after an attack by militants on commercial shipping in the Red Sea. ABC's Melissa Adon has more.
The U.S. and U.K. striking back against Iranian-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen. According to a U.S. official, the military launching retaliatory strikes against multiple Houthi targets using Tomahawk cruise missiles launched from Navy surface ships and a U.S. Navy submarine. This after the White House warned the Houthis could bear the consequences if they do not stop attacks on commercial shipping in the Red Sea.
We're going to do what we have to do to counter and defeat these threats that the Houthis keep throwing up on commercial shipping in the Red Sea.
The Pentagon confirming that the Houthis fired an anti-ship ballistic missile from Houthi-controlled areas in Yemen into international shipping lanes on Thursday, targeting a commercial vessel. There were no injuries or damage reported. This marks the 27th Houthi attack on commercial shipping since mid-November, according to the Pentagon, disrupting one of the most vital shipping routes in the world. 15% of world commerce passes through the Red Sea. The Houthis claiming their strikes are in retaliation for Israel's war in Gaza.
Looks like they not only went after the sites where they launched these Iranian-supplied weapons, they went after multiple, if not dozens, of storage facilities, which is exactly what we needed to do.
The U.S. response follows Tuesday night's attack when the U.S. and U.K. fired back, shooting down 18 one-way drones and 3 missiles from the Houthis targeting commercial ships. The U.S. and its allies creating a coalition of 20 nations to stop the attacks. A Houthi leader warning any U.S. attack will not go without a response from the Iranian-backed rebels.
We've done everything we can to deter this, but it obviously did not work, and the choice was up to Iran. So I do think Iran will likely amp up it through its proxies, of course.
In a statement tonight, President Biden saying he will not hesitate to direct further measures to protect our people and the free flow of international commerce as necessary. Melissa Adon, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Still to come tonight on ABC 6 News at 11, much more reaction from Gillette Stadium and analysis from our sports team as the Patriots move on from franchise legend Bill Belichick.
Plus, a well-deserved break in storms for the area, but we're tracking another system on its way. Jeff is back with that storm. We want also to remind you about our Now Local News app. All you have to do is scan the QR code that's on your screen and start sending in your video content tonight. You can earn points that can be redeemed for prizes.
You're watching ABC 6, Southern New England's trusted news source.